Alright, this is the 5th video for Stevie Ray Vaughan's version of Little Wing. And when we last, in the last video, we left off at this section right here where you're playing this little part where you hit the 2 bass notes and slide your chord up, and then hit it again, slide it back down, then hit the 3rd fret on the E string and the 5th fret on the D string, and then you hit your chord one more time, this higher chord here, these 4 notes, and slide it down to the first 3 frets. So you go 2 frets down to here. So you hit that chord, okay, and then you use your thumb again. And actually, that's where we left off. So let's play that real slow. Or I want to play that for you real slow so you can see where we're at. So I'm going to play my 2 thumb notes, then play this chord, slide it up 2 frets. Okay, I'm going to play it again and slide it back to where I came from. Then I'm going to wrap my thumb back around and play the 3rd fret on the E string, 5th fret on the D string, and we're muting the A string in between. Okay, so those 2 notes play. And after I play that, I'm going to hit this chord again and slide it down to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fret. Okay? So it's going to sound like this. Okay? That's where we left off in the last video. Okay? So after you slide down to there, wrap your thumb back around and play 1st fret on the E string. I know this might be killing your thumb, but give it your best shot. Play 1st fret on the thick E string. Okay? Then play your chord again. These 4 notes. D string all the way through the skinny E string. Okay? That rings for just a second, and then you hit the first 3 strings. You leave out the D string and just go to the G, the B, and the E string. Okay? So that'll sound like this. Okay? Then you hit 1st fret on the E string again, the thick E string. And now, relax your hand, because that's the last you got to do with that chord. So then you go to open, a real quick open on the D, the G, and the B string. Okay? Alright, so it's going to sound like... And then you get into this next part. You'll probably recognize that part in the song too. So that whole sliding section is a good part to practice by itself, right up till you get to the 3 open notes. Okay, and I would practice that over and over again. So that's at the, I kind of split it up because of time issues, but it's at the end of the last video and the beginning of this video, and practice that, trying to get it all done before you move on to this next part. Okay? Now, this next part I just played. It's going to sound kind of like this. That part right there. It's before the trill. If you recognize that part in the song. So that's just to give you a heads up on where we're at in the song if you're confused at all. So here's where we're going after that sliding. After that sliding section, here's where we're at. I want you to take your 1st finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the A string. Okay? It's going to play that note right there. 5th string from the bottom. Now you're going to take your 3rd finger, and this is really a bar chord. I play it as a bar chord. And I just let my 3rd finger play the 5th fret on the B, the G, and the D string. Okay? Now, you don't really use the B string here, so you could get away with just playing a power chord like this. 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the D string, and then pinky on the, let's see, that's the 5th fret of the G string. You could get by with that and just go, you can play it that way. But I like playing the full bar chord, okay? Just play it whichever way that's easiest for you, but just note that I'll be playing it like this when you see me play it, you know, when I go back over these parts. So now that you've got your chord down, first finger in the 3rd fret on the A string, 3rd finger is 5th fret on the D, the G, and the B. Playing that chord, you know. Then you just hold down that chord and pluck the right strings down here, okay? We try to get them both in the frame here. Okay, you're going to have 3 of these bass notes first, okay? So it's going to go. The first one's kind of long, then the second 2 come a little quicker, so it's going to be da, 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 like that. Okay? Now, after you play those 3, then you're going to play the G string, then the D string. Okay, so again, that's A string 3 times in a row, then G string, then D string. Okay, then we go back to the A string 3 more times. Okay, so then it's 5th fret again on the G string. You've already got it pressed down, so G string. Okay, so it's going to sound like this. And then you're really going to hear, I need to explain this, you're really going to hear, you know, you're going to kind of hear 2 notes slide up, but that's because this higher note here is still ringing. So going through this, it's going to be A string, 1, 2, 3, and then G string, D string, then A string again, then G string, and then pluck the A string one more time and slide both of these fingers up 2 frets. So it's going, your first finger's going to the 5th fret, your 3rd finger's going to the 7th fret. Okay, so let me play that one more time. Okay, one more time. Now after you slide up, then you're going to hit your A string again. Now that's 5th fret. Your A string, you're going to hit that twice. And then it's G string, which is now 7th fret. And then D string, which is now 7th fret. And then A string one more time. Okay? So it's after the slide, then it's. And then you hit these 2 notes, A string and D string, together. Okay? So from the beginning of that part, it's going to be, starting at this lower chord here, I'm going to go through it real slow, and you can try to follow along. Okay, so remember, this is 3rd fret. This is 5th fret, and this is 3rd fret, and 7th fret when I slide up here. So I'm going from 3 and 5 to 5 and 7. Okay, so let's go through this slowly, and you try to play along with me. Ready? Go. That was the power chord at the end. Okay? After that, you have open on the E string. Okay? After you're open on the E string, you want to flatten your first finger across the G and the D string in the 7th fret. Okay, so this is the 7th fret, and I've got my first finger across the G and the D string, and you actually play 7th fret on both of them together. But you hammer, again, you've done this type of hammer before. After you play these 2 notes, you hammer ninth fret on the D string. Okay? After you've got that chord down, then you just play it again. So it goes. Okay? Then you just pick a third finger back up, and it's 7th fret on the D string and the G string again. Then it's G string by itself, still 7th fret. Okay? So it's. Okay, one more time. Alright? Then it's going to be 7th fret. And what I typically do here is I've got 7th fret on using my first finger, and I don't know, I typically like to play it like, let me see, yeah, then I typically like to just bar across the 7th fret on the A and the D and play that. Okay, so I've got 7th fret on the A and the D string, and then I play both of them, and I use my pinky to hammer in the 10th fret of the A string, and then I play it again, so it sounds like that. And then I pick my pinky up and play 7th fret on the A and the D string 2 more times. So it's kind of like and then I use my third finger to play 9th fret on the A string. Let me see, is that what I do? Yeah, that's what I do. I play 9th fret on the A string and just slide it down. Okay? And then I start my trill. I'm going over time a little bit here, but I'd like to start that little trill part. It's a good ending spot. So after you play this little section here, and then you play this. Okay? Alright, now, what that is let's actually give you those first notes real quick. It's going to be 3rd fret on the thick E string. Then it's 2 opens on the A string. Then it's 3rd fret on the E string again. Okay, so should sound just like that. 3rd, open, open, 3rd, E string, A string, A string, E string. And then it's a trill. Now what a trill is basically just we're starting on the D string and we're plucking the first note open on the D string. That's the 4th string from the bottom. And I hammer in the 2nd fret of the D string, and then I pull off. And I just keep doing that. So I pluck it one time at the beginning, and then I just keep hammering and pulling off. And if you do it good enough, you actually keep the note going. So it's going to sound like this. Okay? And I don't even know the amount of times, but it just goes until you hear that bass note on the bottom, and I'll get into that in the next video. But just try to get good at playing this. Or full speed is going to be like. Okay? That's probably good for this video. I'm coming up on 15 minutes now, I think. So I need to stop this video and make a new one so these videos aren't too long before y'all get tired of watching them. So I hope this one isn't too confusing. These long songs like this can be pretty mind-numbing because there's so much memorization in them. So I understand. I'll try to make them as simple and easy to understand as possible. That's why it's going to take so many videos to do this one. But when you get this one down, or even if you just learn parts of it and kind of put them together to sound like something, you'll be happy you did. It's one that's definitely a hard song that not a ton of people know how to play, that you'll run into usually.